नमस्कार दोस्तों, मेरा नाम है कर्मयोगी दिवाकर बोत्रा और सबका स्वागत करता हूं आज के एपिसोड ईपीडब्ल्यू द टिपिंग पॉइंट। ईपीडब्ल्यू सीरीज में हम ईपीडब्ल्यू के करंट अफेयर्स डिस्कस कर रहे हैं। अभी जो सितंबर में मेंस आने वाला है, ये वीडियोस ऑन प्लेटफॉर्म, पब्लिक प्लेटफॉर्म है और इसी वीडियोस के अंदर देखना कि कैसे आगे के क्वेश्चंस कवर हो जाएंगे। इन सीरीज में सीधी बात, नो बकवास एट ऑल, डायरेक्टली टू द पॉइंट। एक एक इशू जो एज पर आर्टिकल आया एज इट इज़ मैं आपको बताता हूँ। थोड़ा बहुत अगर ऐड करना है जस्ट टू मेक यू अंडरस्टैंड, आई जस्ट डू दिस हियर। दिस एपिसोड आई विल ट्राई टू डू इट completely in English so that you at least also get that language which you would have to follow as far as the civil services examination is concerned. The month of this particular magazine is October 2022. And the topic which was there, I'm pretty much sure in the forthcoming examinations as far as the civil services is concerned, this topic is really going to be an important one. The topic is functional efficiency of eNAM, a study of Orissa. In this article in the APW, there was a study which was conducted in Orissa. In order to understand that whether electronic national agriculture market, the policy which started in 2016, it's almost 8 years since the policy has been in operation. Has it, whether the particular policy have brought any positive impacts with respect to the farmers, because the goal specifically of this policy as well, or through this policy, was to double the income of farmers. Has the doubling of income taken place? Are the farmers satisfied or not? Tomorrow, if in civil services examinations, if this analysis comes, this article would be an answer in itself. Do make the notes of it, and furthermore, all these PPTs would be available on my channel, my channel on Telegram, t.me/Divakar Bothra. Follow that, and these PPTs would be available there. Before getting into the various analysis, whenever an analysis has to be made, first groundbreaking facts has to be found out. Okay, what exactly is the scenario of agriculture in India? If you look, agriculture employs 42% of the workforce. On the other hand, service 32%, manufacturing 26%. Coupled with this, we all are very well aware of the fact that India is one of the second largest India is the second largest food producer in the entire world, China being the number one because of its per hectare productivity more than that of India. And hence, the monsoons are not going to just impact the food security of the country, but at the same time, if the monsoons are deficient, which we are predicting this year, then definitely in that circumstances, the entire world food security also to an extent would be hampered, or at least the inflation would certainly rise. Because if the second largest food producing country faces such an issue, then the entire world agriculture, commodities, the prices and the operations would definitely and certainly be impacted. Coupled with this, 40% of the food which the country produces, some fact says 35%, some says 40%, but this article in APW advocated 40%. 40%, imagine, that's not a meager amount. That goes to billions of dollars. 40% of the production which we do in the agriculture is wasted. That means rather than going for a new production, new technology, new expenditures which this particular government is trying to bring, and that's good, that should be a part of it. Our focus should be on reducing this 40% wastage. Automatically the production would increase by 40%. Because right now we are producing, imagine the land is producing 100 commodities, but that 40 are getting wasted. On one hand, the people are going hungry because of this waste, and on other hand, because this land is producing the same, over a period of time this productivity is also coming down because land is overexploited, but that overexploited production is not being used just because we do not have the required infrastructures, because what we do at the best is man ki baat, not desh or maybe farmers ki baat. So technically, beside going for R&Ds and others, there is an immediate urgency to ensure this 40% is not wasted. And because of this, the present government came out with a fabulous policy called as Electronic National Agriculture Market. Let's look into why food wastage are present. That 40% food wastage is present on one hand because of storing facilities, post-harvest issues are there, and functioning of food distribution mechanisms. Now, in order to tackle these issues, the government of India finally comes out with several steps. Initially, the first step, important step after the independence was APMC, Agriculture and Producing Marketing Committee. But over a period of time, this was seen that these are becoming the dens of exploitations, and as a result the APMC could not fulfill its envisaged goal, and and because of this the government of India then goes towards eNAM, which started from 2016. So the steps taken in order to tackle the food shortage because of food wastage. Earlier it was APMC and today it is eNAM. Someday I'll also do the details of APMC in order to explain you how the food actually largely gets transferred, MSP, APMC, how they are connected, mandis, chungi tax, etc. Some other day, not right now. What is eNAM? It's an electronic trading platform that creates a unified national market for agriculture produced by networking existing APMCs. So please understand, you students often have a confusion that APMCs would be dismantled. No, that's not the case. APMCs it brings together through a networks, just like that neurons which we have in our body. So please make sure tomorrow if this comes in your prelims as well, you should be clear with this fact, because the difference between the prelims and mains is fast getting vaporized. Initially, when this eNAM came in 2016, it covered 21 mandis, 24 commodities. Today, it integrates more than 1,000 plus markets, 1.6 crore farmers, and 1.1 lakh traders, and 1,000 plus farmers, producers, organizations. That means it is connecting almost huge numbers of farmers and a large varieties of commodities. Just for the information sake, we are starting our study, the batch have already started, and there are 3 languages in which it is present. English, Hindi-English combination. English, it's a purely English batch for those people who largely face difficulties in English batch, and Hindi माध्यम also, हिंदी माध्यम भी present है जहाँ पे हिंदी में आपकी शिक्षा होगी या हिंदी में आपकी classes होगी. Use the code DIVLIVE if you want to get a handsome discount, or otherwise it's your choice. Objectives of eNAM. What exactly was the objective? The objective of eNAM was clearly defined, where we see reduce the wastage, improve the farmer's income, ensure the food inflation is less. There are multiple objectives, but I've just written here as per this article, which largely gives the reference source with respect to the Agriculture Ministry. To bring transparency in sale and price discovery, this could be a PT question. Among which of the following are the objectives of eNAM? Tino ke tino objectives, all the three are the objectives of eNAM. Harmonization of quality standards, provision of scientific technique for soil testing, etc. What has been the impact of eNAM? This is what this article focuses on. As of now, I have given you the background. What exactly is the impact in the past 8 years as far as the eNAM is concerned? In fact, this is wrongly written here. Pre-eNAM hona chahiye. Pre-eNAM, most of the farmers preferred to sell at the local level, village level. But this changed after eNAM. They started selling beyond their village market. Increase in price which farmers got after eNAM. Example, the paddy farmers are receiving 48% higher price for the produce after eNAM. So in future time, when in civil services mains examinations, when you see such question, you often try to write those stories and kathas and mahakathas. What's the meaning of katha and mahakatha? Writing your own perceptions without giving your fact. Now when an analysis of eNAM comes, you will just write a point. The price which the farmers get largely increased. How do you know? What is the proof? If you don't mention these studies, you actually write stories, and kathas and mahakathas do not give you any marks in civil services mains. Please make sure. That's the reason this PW is important. When you make a point, prove a point, or else don't make a point. Coming next, are the farmers satisfied? See the facts which this study gives you. That's the goddamn intensity of EPW. You people would understand when you see the mains examination papers, whether you take 2022 or whether you take the upcoming 2023. 60 farmers were interviewed in Orissa in order to know, are you satisfied with the eNAM? Majority farmers are not satisfied with the price they are getting. Oh, shock laga? What? Majority of farmers are not satisfied with the price they are getting. The percentage which was given was, the dissatisfaction was the highest among the potato farmers. 83% of the potato farmers were not satisfied. Coupled with the brinjal, around 80%. Non-availability of government transportation facilities hindered their access to eNAM, and they therefore, they were forced to sell at the local mandis because the transportation cost was to be borne by the goddamn farmers there. Government have not increased any such, provided any such facilities or fixed the rates for such facilities as such. Lack of cold storage, obviously that 40% mechanism is never going to change, because if the cold storage is not present, just merely eNAM is not going to be sufficient if the study has to be any relevant fact here. 53% farmer reported delay in receiving the payments. They did use the eNAM, but at the same time we also see that they largely were facing a delay. 53 is not a small percentage. 3% it wouldn't have mattered. There are certain procedural issues which would be faced, but 53% of the farmers reported that they are facing delay in receiving the incomes after the sales. About 31% farmers reported labor shortage at mandi. Okay, mandis ke andar that labor shortage is present, and as a result we see they are not able to unload, reload or upload their respective commodities. All these facts you should write it down right now when you're watching this lecture, so that tomorrow if an evaluation comes, you can say, okay, although this policy is good, but still there is lot to do as far as this policy is concerned. As the study of Orissa largely highlighted that how the eNAM is not operating at its full capacity. For example, quote 2-3 facts. This is how you write your answers, not kathas and mahakathas. Are the farmers satisfied? Many farmers are not even aware of the operational procedures. Forget about the satisfaction. Satisfaction यहाँ से बहुत अच्छे से you have come to know about what exactly the satisfaction means. What is the way forward? The way forward is this. This is not just the way. This is infrastructure. This is lack of infrastructure, this is infrastructure, this is infrastructure. So if you have to tackle how you should make eNAM much more successful proposition or a scheme, developing the infrastructure facilities such as cold storage, roads, rails, ports, etc. The government needs to set up training facilities, especially at the taluk level, so that the farmers largely become aware of such schemes. Role of civil society can also be added here. I have personally added this so that in paper 2, NGO, civil society, pressure groups, you can use this. Educate transportation facilities can mitigate the losses. So if this is what I have, so henceforth I have covered one important article of eNAM. This question is going to be a bang on in your paper in coming 1 or 2 years. I have that intuition that this question would be there in your paper 3. In this year itself. Any of your colleagues is writing mains, do send the link, not for the sake of, not for my welfare sake. I'll look into my own welfare. It for your welfare. Okay? Let me be very clear. I'm operating with an altruistic will so that your individual will can be satisfied. If you want to get into our sociology batch, this is the batch you can largely get in. Rest assured, every thing in sociology, from toe to not just head, beyond your head, would be covered in this batch. And I assure you, the handwritten notes which we provide you is the best available source which you can ever rely or can study with respect to sociology. Namaskar. Thank you so much.